television network. Atn Politics is the network's flagship program that discusses core political trends with relevant political stakeholders. Today on Atn Politics, we'll be discussing core issues from different political landscapes. We'll take a look at anniversary lecture, Morrison Media positioned as cultural force supporting governance. In Akwa Ibom State, APC leaders urge Tinubu to stop Akpabio's PDP shift. We take a look at Lagos State. Atiku make APC PDP bio. Remember, we are open for adverts, placements, news and events coverage, personality, society and political interviews. Many thanks for staying with us. You're watching Atn Politics right here on Atlantic Television Network. And joining me right here in the studio to discuss Atn Politics today is Dr.
Doing good.
It's good to have you today on Atn Politics.
Very
All right, then we also have the presence of Honorable Barioma Raphael Quina. He's also a public affairs analyst. Good evening, Honorable Barioma. It's been a while I've been having you on Atn Politics.
Thank you. I'm here again.
All right, how are you doing? Active support. Well, quite interesting. I'll begin with you, Honorable Barioma Raphael. You were right there at the event. I mean, congratulations to Morrison Communications, Morrison Media Groups, once again for that. It was a colorful event last week, Monday, and I'm sure a lot of people enjoy. You were part of that event. I would like you to also share your experience as regards the anniversary lecture of Morrison Communications.
All right. First of all, I think I must tell you, it was something very much motivating.
All right.
Articulating and directing. You know, when it comes to media, it's very much important because if you're not informed, you're deformed, and that's the necessity. So the Morrison Media Group, it was a wonderful thing, and for them to come up with such idea, a way to keep enlightening the public that they should know the necessity and the beauty in media job. You know, doing such, I think it will keep on, making the society a better place for human survival. Because we are together, put it 21st century where all they finish the put it the polytechnic and all that, they don't have job. They don't. Many of them they fall back to farming.
All right.
Some of them who came from villages, they have to fall back because they can't lay their hand on something. Because of this platform, many of them are fully engaged, whereby they can do one or two based on what they study in school. So I think it's a way of supporting good governance in Nigeria, or Port Harcourt City, Nigeria.
All right. Well, Dr. Paul, and let me shift to you now. I'd like to get your take. I mean, last week, Monday, Morrison Communications celebrates her, 5th anniversary with so many dignitaries in attendance. We have the likes of Tony Radia, Omar Pet, and the rest of them. It was event to behold. We had so many lectures, we had so many analysts talked about media, journalism, and looking at the fact that Atlantic Television Network as well as Morrison Communications happens to be the best and the indigenous TV station in River State and South as a whole. They've done so much in terms of championing, good governance in the nation so well. I'd like to get your take on this, so far. What are the benefits? Looking at what Atlantic Television have done so far, and we'll also take a look at the chairman of Morrison Communications welcome address. You heard it. So when I read it, so I would like to get your take as regards to this too.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Victor. Yeah, I think it is a thing of joy, and the chairman demands accolades. I want to congratulate him, and also want to congratulate his team for the good job they are doing, especially in River State. Being the first indigenous television network, I know he may have encountered so many challenges to arrive to where he is now. And beside that again, for someone to celebrate, it means there are achievements. There are successes that have been recorded. You cannot just assemble eminent people calling for celebration when there is nothing to show. So to have that kind of calibers of personalities in Nigeria to grace the occasion, it means that he is doing well. And as a Rivers indigene, I am proud of him. And then praying that we should see more persons, coming from the media sector in River State precisely. I also do wish him to, advance, getting to a certain level where we can talk about channel televisions and, others too. But I know he has started well, and definitely he will get to that particular point. All we do is to pray for him, to continue the good work, remain unbiased, focus on issue-based discussions, especially you mentioned about good governance. Yes. Without the media, how can we talk about the good governance, especially when it has to do with communication between the government and the people? Okay, not everyone will be in the political system, especially in government. So what it means that for the indigenes, for the citizens to follow up the political activities, within River State, for instance, let me just focus because we are talking about River State, but in Nigeria and world generally, media cannot be excluded. And when we are talking about media cannot be excluded, it means the Atlantic Television Network is bringing governance closer to people. Whatever that may be the gap between the governments and those that are being governed is being filled up. Okay, one may argue that perhaps it's not everybody that may be accessible to it, but through the radio, through the television, we are beginning to be aware of what the government of the day is doing. The citizens are also being included in terms of participation. If you cannot be there, through discussions, through views, and perhaps comments that are being made, you contribute towards the how you are being ruled, and then the functions of the government, and at times acting as a checks and balances, knowing fully that a media like this is existing and is watching, and whatever that happens, we pass the information across to the people, and whatever be the people's own opinion towards the government is also being communicated to the government through the media. So I commend him and then wishes him well to get to the greater height.
Exactly. Well, I told your line to also commend Chairman of Morrison Communications. I mean, he hasn't just put the work, but do you know that starting just for a few years, we've been able to be the best TV station in the whole of South media. I'm not just saying that for the same sake. I mean, we were awarded the best TV station of the year 2024, and that's a plus. Thank you so much to the chairman, Morrison Communications Limited. He's done so much. Thank you so much for giving us the platform. It means a lot to us, and also to our audience who are watching, who are glued to us. We say thank you for always watching us. We are committed to unbiased journalism. We're committed to giving you everything possible that you need to know in the sphere of journalism. Thank you so much once again, Dr. Chinyere Igwe. I mean, it's not really easy. All right, so let's delve right into the next story for today. Well, chieftains of the All Progressives Congress, APC, in Akwa Ibom State have written to the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, alleging a plot by the Senate's President Godswill Akpabio, the Minister of Petroleum, Gas, Right Honorable Ekperikpe Ekpo, and the state chairman of the party, Mr. Stephen Ntukekpo, to cede the party to the People's Democratic Party, PDP, the governor, Umoino, in the state. In an open letter tagged, "The worrisome state of the APC in Akwa Ibom State, a call for your urgent intervention," signed by Elder Okokon James, Honorable Peter Ibanga, and Chief Victor Afia, representing Uyo, Eket, and Ikot Ekbene senatorial districts of the state on Monday. The elders urged the president to intervene and ensure that the party is resuscitated in Akwa Ibom. The elders noted that they have been in the party from inception and had never seen the kind of selfishness, greed, betrayal, and tragedy currently going on in the party in Akwa Ibom. The letter in part states, "What the Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, is doing to the teeming and die-hard members of the All Progressives Congress in Akwa Ibom State is the height of betrayal of confidence and treachery against the party on whose platform he became the Senate President. History and posterity will not be kind to him and all those he is using as instruments to kill the party." They noted that both the party chairman and the minister had in different fora said they were directed by the Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, to cripple the party in the state, to give the PDP an easy ride to victory in the 2027 polls in exchange for the People's Democratic Party's support for the Senate President's third-term ambition. They regretted that Senator Akpabio had failed to see clearly that Umoino would never defect to APC or be committed to President Tinubu's second-term ambition. They added, "We want to assure Mr. President that he won't have party members to receive him when he comes to the state next year to campaign if something urgent is not done to revive and strengthen the party in the state." Wow, this is quite interesting. As the APC in Akwa Ibom State are urging the president to talk to Senator Godswill Akpabio, as regards to the PDP shift and all of that. So let me get your take on this one, Dr. Paul.
Well, I think such call is not new, let me put it that way, and it's also not surprising. I don't know, on the side of Akpabio, he has been facing some hits, within this particular, period.
Exactly.
And then from the National Assembly and now
to his hometown.
To his hometown, yes, where this kind of a call is, coming. But I know he is a man. He has been into the political system and may find his way. But regarding the call itself, one will begin to wonder, why is that call coming now?
Okay.
Yes, we are about approaching electioneering year, and this kind of call is coming. Does it mean that there are no internal party mechanism within Akwa Ibom State in which the Senate President could have been invited for them to have this kind of a discussion than the call being made to the President, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who is a member of APC? Or could it be that the Senate President is having issue with the leadership of the party, and they felt that the only way, calling him, stopping him, in what way? You are indicting him. You are saying that he's playing anti-party politics. That is what it means. Right. So you that is a party chairman, what have you done? That is it. Before you can say, oh, I have tried that, and then the president, should come into aid. You see, Akwa Ibom State, I believe that it should be known, okay? It should be known that if we are talking about parties have their stronghold. Right. That's just the truth. Parties have their stronghold. And in Akwa Ibom State, it is PDP. It is the PDP. So if the party chairman and his cabinets, cannot work on the ground, and they are depending on the Senate President, who is already engaged in the national assignment, and they believe that he has to come down, I think it is somehow what the Senate President needs is to throw his weight, a kind of a support. As for the grassroots mobilization, making the party relevant, is what the APC need to do. You understand? So they shouldn't look at, because the man called His Excellency, has been doing well. So if he has been doing well and there is much popularity that is, he's gaining
in the
party, so they shouldn't throw it and then look at it that Akpabio is not doing anything. Or do they want him to be coercive, to be aggressive, to frustrate, where there is no even reason for him to begin to attack, because at times people see opposition party that you don't allow the reigning party to have their way. But if a reigning party within a state or even a country is doing well, why should there be throwing stone, trying to frustrate, fighting where it is not necessary? What we need is good governance. So if the incumbent government of a PDP led by His Excellency is doing well, what I expect the APC to do is to put their house in order and then see what they can have to present to the people come 2027. Not begin the in-house fighting now, accusing Akpabio. Well, it's an intra-party problem. So if they feel that it is the president that can't, and then they didn't only indict the Senate president, they also indicted the minister. If I look at what was read, that minister, and so on. So what do they expect them to do? They should leave their national assignment, come to Akwa Ibom, or give them instructions on what to do in terms of making sense of politics. Nothing than provision of the common good of the people in the society.
All right.
So if you must, oppose, you should have something tangible. It shouldn't be based on a kind of a conspiracy, theory, trying to create some kinds of problem.
Okay, Dr. Paul, what if it happens to be in terms of personal interest? Because from what we're saying, probably the APC are alleging personal interest for the senator. Right, because looking at 2027, like you rightly mentioned, he is also trying to look for a way to secure his seat come 2027. Right. So, talking about personal interest, what would you also make of that?
Well, you cannot rule it out when it has to do with a political game.
All right.
Okay. But the question now is, how justifiable is this allegation? If perhaps they have not been working closely with the Senate president, or perhaps what they also need from the Senate president is not coming. Allegation is saying that it's of anti-party. That is the allegation now. It is of anti-party. And my question is that the party themselves, the party officials, the party chairman, what is he doing to make the party relevant? Okay? If accusation there is that, because you will definitely hear from Akpabio. How justifiable is it? Is it that he has come and then he has been campaigning for the PDP? Is there a situation whereby, or should politics be seen as an acrimony that cannot be resolved after election? You still continue. I believe that once somebody has, been victorious in the election, you wait for the next electionary period and then plan how you are going to defeat the person, rather than throwing bomb, quarreling, here and there. Is that the essence? Is that the reason why we should have a... Let them not forget that he's a Senate president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, not of APC.
All right. So on to you now, Honorable Barry Marafel. Do you also see this move by the APC as some form of a call to action for the president, because they are also making, in part of their statements, they say that there will be a time where the president will come and that he will not have people to welcome him. So do you see the situation happening with what the APC are saying?
That is impossible.
Right.
That will not be possible. When it comes to political system or political parties, there are what we call the internal crisis, party internal crisis. Party internal crisis means they are having division among themselves. Even the leaders, they have one or two person they have in mind, or they have at heart. So I think the leaders themselves should look at themselves if really they are doing the right thing. Because if they can't put their head together and say, okay, look at what we want at this point in time, look at who we are, look at this we want. If they can't have a target, it means there is division in the party. And it's better for them to settle themselves than them bringing it out to say Akpabio is doing this, Akpabio is doing that. If you point out Akwa Ibom today as a state in the South-South, the Senate President Akpabio are being the one projecting the name Akwa Ibom State from time. All the beauty we have today, the road network, the this, the that, the development in Akwa Ibom, you cannot point out those things without the name Akpabio. Look at the beautiful stadium he built. it was under his government as a governor of the state. So I think Mr. Akpabio, the Senate President, have been a very good man who have his people at heart. So if really they are talking based on their party issue whatsoever, it shouldn't be to understand they have to say if the president of Nigeria, President Tinubu, if it comes to Akwa Ibom that he will not see anybody to welcome, that's totally lie. I put it to them. What I'm trying to say here is that some of these issues comes out of personal interest. You know, when it comes to politics, politics is all about what you're going to gain at the end of the day. So if the party leader, or the party chairman of APC in Akwa Ibom State, if really they are not in good rapport, that's if they don't have that kind of mutual understanding with Akpabio, it doesn't mean the party will have no person to stand before the president of Nigeria.
Are you saying there have been inefficiencies in the part of the APC leaders?
Yeah.
Mind you, a lot goes on the ground when it comes to politics that we really cannot tell, right? A lot goes on the ground. And now, you know, you and I knows that the Senate president, 2027 is right the corner.
Yeah.
And now the Senate president has to secure majority from its own state. We have the Ikoro-Ikpene senatorial district, we have the Eket senatorial district, as well as Uyo senatorial district, which he has to, garner support from all of this. So are you saying that the governor, the Senate president, former governor, I beg your pardon, Senate president Godswill Akpabio, is in one way or the other doing what he's doing is right, considering the fact that, okay, he has been the governor, then he made so many, impact and all of that he still have the people in mind, people still have in mind of what you're saying.
Why I'm pointing out this is that the Senate President Akpabio have been the good citizen of Akwa Ibom, a patriotic citizen of Akwa Ibom State. So if really is sitting there as a senator representing his people, and he has been opportune to be the Senate President of Nigeria, that's to say the Akwa Ibom people will rally behind him.
Now,
why am I saying this? I'm saying this because he's not representing the APC political party. He's representing his people, his senatorial district, which means the APC, the SDP, the ABGAP, the PDP will come together because they are pointing out what they may gain as a citizen of Akwa Ibom State, since he serves as their representative in the National Assembly. So I'm pointing out that he may have the voters from those who will vote him from PDP, APC, SDP, and other political party. But I'm suspecting this to be a kind of party internal crisis, which them on their own can be able to resolve it if really they want to. But let me remind you, Akpabio has a Senate president. Know that automatically he's in power, and he is ahead of the party leadership in Akwa Ibom State in course of finance, in course of other things, because he came out of the APC.
All right.
I get him as a leader, so he's representing his people, and then at the point he have his own ambition, and his ambition with that of the party leadership of Akwa Ibom APC may not be the same. Okay. So that crisis or the division may come in among the leaders that are there. So it's for them to settle themselves and leave leave Nigerians, or the citizens of Nigeria. They should leave us.
All right. Well, over to you now, Dr. Paul. Just this last question before we move on to the next story. So what would you advise the APC leaders now, with all of this brouhaha playing out? What would you advise them?
Ordinarily, I wouldn't have liked to advise them on anything.
All right. But for the sake that you're an analyst.
Yes, it's politics. Right. They know their interests. They define their interests. They know how to go about it. So the only advice I will offer is that in the process of pursuing their political interests, they shouldn't drag the people of Akwa Ibom into it to the point where perhaps we begin to witness some kinds of political instability, somehow maybe conflict, somehow factions clashing here and there, and then making the constituents, to become insecure. That is just it. Let them play their politics according to the rules.
All right.
And not to drag the other party members, because at times you see that faction can breed conflicts.
Okay.
And once that conflict is not controlled, we may not only be talking about APC. Before you know it, they will tell you that even the governor himself is instigating what is happening or sponsoring what is happening in APC, so that when there is an internal crisis, we have his way. Let them play according to the rules, pursue their personal interests, and don't bring the other members of the party, I'm talking about the common essence, to the point where it can become or resort to political conflict.
All right. Moving on to our next story. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has described the Lagos-based National Youth Service Corps NYC member Ushie Ugwamaye, who criticized President Bola Tinubu's administration as a symbol of a new generation of politically engaged women committed to advocacy and democratic participation. Atiku stated this while urging support for Ugwamaye, also known as Rai, who claimed to have received threats after her viral video criticizing Tinubu's administration. Rai, in a viral video on her TikTok account, #TalkToRai, on Saturday, expressed frustration over Nigeria's socio-economic situation. She criticized Tinubu's leadership, calling him a terrible leader, and questioned the government's commitment to easing citizens' hardships. But after the viral video, she disclosed that NYC officials ordered her to take down the video, alleging that she was being threatened. However, the former presidential candidate on his X handle on Sunday praised her courage, adding that Rai embodies the spirit of a new generation of women who champion the ideals of popular participation and unwavering advocacy in the political sphere. He says, "I deeply admire her boldness and wisdom, her fearless resolve to speak truth to power, undeterred by the weight of opposition." Atiku wrote. He further likened Rai to historic female activists such as Gambo Sawaba, Fumilayo Ransom Kuti, and Margaret Ekpo, who played pivotal roles in Nigeria's political landscape. Atiku called for support rather than hostility towards Rai. Rather than being met with hostility, Rai deserves encouragement and support. She is a shining emblem of the Nigerian youth, a testament to the long-held promise that the leaders of tomorrow are already among us, ready to shape a better future, Atiku said. Interesting. We've seen the video throughout Saturday, the developing stories and all of that, where Rai made that video and it has been trending, it has flooded social media, and so many people have been talking. As we speak, they've been challenged. 30 days rants and all of that. Hashtag 30 days rants is ongoing now on social media, and there've been some form of criticism to the government. A lot of people are coming to, air voices as regards to the high cost of, price livings, inflation and all of that. I'd like to get your take on this one.
Okay, I think what she's a youth corps member, right?
Yes.
What she has said is not different from what many Nigerians, have said regarding the government of the day. I'm talking about the federal government.
All right.
Because since the federal government came on board, we have seen several harsh policies that have been taken that have brought about a harsh economy.
All right.
Okay, to the common man or to the common people in the society. So it's not a new thing based on what she have said.
All right.
But where my concern is that of Atiku coming in, praising her, and so on and so forth. If Atiku doesn't have an interest in the 2027, would he have, made all these kind of comments? I don't think so.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, aside from Atiku, sorry to interject there, aside from Atiku Abubakar, we've had the likes of Peter Obi, we've had the likes of Aisha Yusufu, we've had the likes of Moyole Sowore also, and so many, meaning Nigerians are also clamoring support for Rai as regards to this. So maybe you're looking at the point of maybe 2027.
It's not in this again.
Okay.
It's actually 2027 because. Just like I said earlier, you see that the hardship, the economic hardship, the level of insecurity.
Are you experiencing the same?
I am experiencing it. I align myself with the people in the society.
So you're saying that Raye in some way is not lying?
No. That's what I'm saying.
All right.
You understand? What she has said, okay, is based on her own opinion, which should be respected.
All right.
And I also align with him, because I cannot say I am smiling. No. The economic hardship doesn't know, except those who are rich or those who may be benefiting from the system. You understand? But when you look at the likes of the people, okay, who are standing as a kind of perhaps protecting her or trying to encourage what she has said, you know that they all have interest.
All right.
Coming 2027, that is already approaching.
All right.
It's not a new thing. It's not a new thing. So I think you don't expect anybody. Okay, why have people who are in the ruling party not said anything regarding that?
Okay, I'm coming to that. All right, Dr. Honorable Barry Marafel. Well, just a few days ago, we had Sunday Dare, one of the minister, also said that Tinubu's policies, his reforms and everything have been beneficial to Nigerians, and the price of commodities have reduced inflation. There's no longer high inflation, that it has reduced, and well-meaning Nigerians are living, in good condition. I'd like to get your take on this regarding this video Rai also made. I want you to tally the both of them together. Do you think, or have you had any experience as regards to what Rai is saying, or has there been any form of the governance or his reforms that you've benefited from? Is there a kind of, are you not part of, the inflation? Are you not suffering inflation in any way? Let me put it that way.
Yeah, if you're putting it that way, I'll also put it to you.
Okay.
And I'll put it to them. Currently, there is instability in the economic sector.
Is there also inflation?
Yeah, why not?
Are things also hard?
Yeah, let me tell you. I'm giving you this analysis based on my job. I'm also into events.
Okay.
Now, I'm talking as an event planner. Just I think I was called upon a few weeks ago to plan for a wedding. The wedding is coming up April. Now, after discussing decoration, discussing all the things, now at the point, the young man later called me for food. Now, going straight to food, the calculation and the rest, he is targeting 250 people. I'm giving the exact analysis on how things are going higher in the country and how people are crying. Now, 250 people is targeting rice and gari and soup. Do you know how much is coming out? Okay, I called the caterer that works with me in my team. She told me she have to go and check the price of things in the market. She came back, she told me that price of a plate of food for now is 3,000 naira. That's you're cooking for population, putting 250 people in that event. So
you multiply 3,000 naira.
You multiply 3,000 naira by 250,000. That comes out.
That's for the refreshment part of the wedding.
Yeah, now so end of the day, I later spoke with her and she said, okay, the last she will go with is 2,500 naira. Right. So if you check 2,500 naira times 250, comes out over 670 something thousand. Then if you check 2,500 times...
Food prices in the FCT have crashed right now as I'm talking to you. So I'm wondering, what part of Nigeria is that? Because, looking at the cost of data, cost of airtime and all of that, it's been always on the high, right? I can relate to that because I use data a lot. I'm a journalist, so I use data a lot. It's been so high, and the worst part of it is that the data no longer lasts as it used to. So it becomes a thing of, it becomes something really problematic right now as we speak. But then Raye has voiced that same thing. I am not saying that, I'm not giving my opinion, basically. I'm just looking at the experience, and I'm giving a general overview of what is actually going on, or probably what I've seen on my own part. But then, Raye has come out to say that, okay, the inflation, food prices is so high and all of that. And then a lot of comments, Dr. Paul, saying that President Tinubu is a terrible president. And now we've also, I watched the video. I saw the video she posted. I was saying that the NYC official in Lagos was calling her. There was video and everything, that she was stupid, that she should pull down the video and all of that. And she faced backlash from netizens on social media as regards to that particular video. So I want you to talk about that. And there have been a series of talks that as a core member, you're not supposed to criticize the government. And they've brought out so many sections of the NYC law and all of that, saying that she's trying to be bipartisan, play bipartisan, and so many stuffs like that. So let me get your take on that.
I think the call or the level at which she is being criticized is one of the problems we have in Nigeria, that if someone is pointing out some of the anomalies going on in the society, you see people will attack. Some of those people you see may not be benefiting, but because of the likeness they may have for the one who is in charge, that's in government position, it's also a kind of a continuity personal against him. Why taking it personal against her? I expect that when issues like this comes up, okay, what the government of the day should do is to begin to assess perhaps their policies. So she summoned the courage, and I see why you see some of those jostling for the position of president 2027 are now backing her, because they know the society will come from. Criticisms will come, people will begin to threaten you, calling her being partisan. What has that got to do with the party politics? She have just spoken. Does it mean that everybody have to be silent, or because she is a member of the of NYSC, then she doesn't have the right to, you know, make her own comments? It's a way of dying down, and then we should discontinue from this kind of trying to silence voices when it has to do with criticizing government. What she did, I don't see anything bad about it. I don't see anything bad about it. It's not about personal.
All right.
Okay, he's talking about policies, and which everybody, the minister that is talking about that the cost of things have reduced. My brother, enter transport and see whether it has reduced. I don't see anything that have reduced so far. We are talking about a way of being enlightened, giving out information now to Nigerians is through data usage, and then we cannot access it. Then you look at also power. So what are we talking about? That costs of things are reducing where? If it has reached in Abuja, maybe food, I don't know where they normally gather food stuff and so on and so forth. I am yet to see, apart from petrol, that's fair, that I have noticed that is gradually coming down. Maybe perhaps because of influence of Dangote. I have not seen any other again that have reduced. Instead, I'm seeing it is being increased. Recently, I went and priced a bag of cement. It has gone up to 10,000. So where is he getting his own data from?
She, the core member, is supposed to face firing squad, or she should be executed and all of that, again, just for making that video. Again, I'll also, okay, I'll get your take on this one, Honorable Barry Marafel, from the statement.
Yeah, I must tell you, he said so because he's really benefiting from the government, which means he had a monthly pay. Because of that, he have all his right to say what he wants to say, or what, I don't know. But if we really were facing reality, we should know that every citizens of every country have the right to point out what is necessary for themselves.
Now, the issue there is that they are saying that she's a core member, and as a core member that she's not supposed to criticize the government. That's another issue there that I want you to also talk on that.
Yeah, what you're saying, you're right, but at the same time, they're in a way to, you know, to upgrade or to, you know, to look at some of the core value is that when they look at this, it will be like, okay, let's review the core value of
the NYC.
Yeah.
All right.
They should look into it and check some things that are necessary. Okay, we heard about the minimum wage and whatsoever. They to start, you know, have we really confirmed that really they have started paying them? Because they were pointing out this how many months ago?
All right.
Now we had it that they started paying them last month or so. but we can't tell if really they are enjoying what they should be enjoying as a youth corps.
In fact, let me just add a little to what he has said.
All right.
That she is a youth corps member,
and that she's
not supposed to criticize the government. So
yeah.
even if something is going wrong, because she is a member, a youth corps member, she should just go ahead and support. Supposing the video she made was on the other side of praising the president, would they have called her and said, no, you are an NYC member? And I don't also understand that I am working in an organization and then I see something that is wrong. I shouldn't point it out. No, it's wrong. They said we have a freedom of speech, right? And you are serving the nation. That's why it's called NYC, National Youth Service Corps. And the past policies are also affecting them. So they shouldn't speak. You use them for elections, right? Is that why the NYC was established? Because you felt that they are going to be what? Neutral. So what she has expressed is based on what? A neutral mindset of what, constitute the reality of what a common man is facing in Nigeria. The hardship. We have to talk about it. So calling her out, threatening her is uncalled for, please. They should desist from that. If there is a way they want to advise her, maybe privately, it should be in the private, not coming
well,
out
Amnesty
in the
International have urged the NYSC officials to offer up an apology letter to her. Well, we're still looking to see how.
So you can now imagine where international communities are beginning to look at such issue like this.
All right.
So somebody who is in NYSC is like a neutral person. It's a compelled to come and serve the nation. So if you are serving the nation and in the process, you are encountering hardship. How else do they want her to communicate her information to the public? Let me put it that way, both to the president and to the policy makers. It's what she have done. So if anyone feels that the way she did it is not the right way, then you call her privately and then advise her, oh, what you have done, and then justify it. But to me, I don't see anything perfectly wrong.
Okay, so you, all right, sorry to interject, Honorable Varioma. Are you also saying that you do not see anything wrong with her using that statement, a terrible precedent?
Oh, she called the president a terrible president.
He's a terrible president. That's the content of the video,
Okay.
So are you saying there's nothing wrong with calling the president a terrible president?
To some extent, based on the...
Probably she might be referring to his administration, actually.
But if
policies,
that particular word,
that's what I'm
I don't
thinking.
agree with her. I don't agree with her on that.
She might be referring to his policy.
If she did call the president a terrible president.
The speech seems very raw.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very raw to some extent.
Right.
But at the same time, a way to make it very much clear
that she would have used a subtle way.
That people can come in.
Right.
That's why she came up with such speech.
Okay.
Because if not that, it would be hard for Nigerians to listen to her.
So you're saying it's deliberate. Usage of that word is deliberate.
Yeah, why not? Because see, out of pain, you can demonstrate. You can koto in the apple hole. There are things you know. There are things people never wanted you to do. There are things you never expect yourself doing. But cause of anger, cause of frustration, cause of environmental factor, you may do the undo. So that's just the fact behind her statement.
So, well, there have been several rallies of support for Rai, actually, as regards to this video. But we're still watching, because this morning, the developing story is that she went there with Omoyele Sowore and to the secretariat, and nobody was found. The person who even invited her absconded and all of that. Well, we, fingers crossed in anticipation, we're watching to see how that unfolds. Well, we do not have the luxury of time. Let's go to our last story for today. We took a look at Social Democratic Party SDP presidential candidate in the 2023. Prince Adewale Adebayo has declared that his party will defeat President Bola Tinubu in 2027 because it has learned from the mistakes of the All Progressives Congress APC and the People's Democratic Party PDP. Adebayo said SDP is a well-organized party that plays by the rules, adding that the mistakes that caused PDP's downfall and which will bring down the APC in 2027 have been noted and taken care of by his party. Adebayo said bribing delegates, buying votes during party primaries, and employing unconstitutional and arm-twisting tactics to force unpopular candidates on the people, which he alleged were evident in the PDP and APC, are absent from the SDP. He lamented that Tinubu's government lacks the capacity to give Nigerians direction, emphasizing that the government is peopled by people who are only interested in sharing the wealth of the nation while the masses die of hunger and penury. He said he was sure that they did not have any programs for Nigerians and would soon lose popularity. So he continued to work for victory in the 2027 election, a development that has culminated in his assurance that his party would roundly defeat Tinubu in his APC in 2027. Well, that's quite a long read. I wouldn't go further on that. I'll quickly, in just a minute, let me get your take as regards to what Adebayo is saying, that they've learned from the PDP as well as the APC's mistake, and they're well positioned right now as talking about party structure and all of that for 2027. Do you see any possibility of SDP overthrowing?
I don't. In as much as it will be quick for me to, draw a conclusion, because 2027
hasn't come yet.
Hasn't come yet. Yes, it's around the corner. Right. Otherwise, where I would have started assessing if what he said will become a reality, I would have said, which state is SDP governing in Nigeria at the moment? That's the question. Which state can we say is their stronghold? That's another question. Who are the members of this political? So it's like they are trying to become an emerging force, trying to provide perhaps an alternative platform, but they are not yet there.
All right.
They are not yet there.
All right, quickly, in just a minute, Honorable Barry Marofel, I would like to get your take as regards to what Adebayo is saying. You also see any possibility of SDP emerging as the ruling party in Nigeria come 2027?
I think what he said is what we call sugarcoating mouth or sugarcoating speech in politics. Politics is more about how confident you are, how courageous, and how motivated you are. So all he's saying is a way of creating an awareness that the SDP political party is ever ready to do and undo. But I don't think that will go well, because why am I saying this? It was back then during the 2023 election in Rivers State. SDP were on ground in Rivers State because of Senator Magnus Abi. But I will tell you, since Senator Magnus Abi left SDP, and they don't really have that strength again. So how would they even come to Rivers State and say they are SDP men and they want to conquer APC?
All right, thank you so much, Honorable Barry Marofel, for your insightful thought and analysis. We do appreciate, and we also look forward to having you on our shows.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Paul Nwala, Senior Lecturer, Department of History and International Diplomacy, University of Port Harcourt.
Rivers State.
Rivers State University. Okay, Rivers State University, Port Harcourt. Thank you so much for being on the show on Atn Politics today. We look forward to having you on our subsequent show.
Thank you for having me.
All right, well, this is where we wrap it up on this episode of Atn Politics. Remember, we're open for adverts, placements, news and events coverage, personality, society and political interviews, products, service promotion and commercials. You can connect with us on all our ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube at Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok at Atlantic TV Network 1, X formerly Twitter at Atlantic TV Net. Watch us live on our website, www.atlanticnetwork.tv. Peace and unity are always the pathways to progress. Don't forget, thank you so much for watching. I am Victor Peter. ATN Gen Z comes up next to stay with us.